Out of all the mobs in Minecraft, few are as misunderstood as the illagers. They show up out of nowhere, armed to the teeth, storming against villagers with crossbows, axes. They burn, they pillage, in the name. They destroy, and then they just leave. But why? What's really driving the illagers? Are they just mindless antagonists? Or is there something deeper going on beneath the surface? What if their existence, everything from their exile to their obsession with conquest, mirrors one of the greatest philosophical debates in human history? I think we can go even deeper. While villagers represent order and peace and the idea of Plato's republic, the illagers reject all of that. They have the rebels, the outcast, the disruptors of harmony. Whether intentional or not, Minecraft has given us one of the most compelling representations of philosophical conflict in gaming. That is definitely a line of all time. And the best way to understand it? Nietzsche. Yep, you heard me right. Beyond Good and Evil. In this video, we're going to break down how Nietzsche's ideas of mortality, power, and meaning can help us understand the illagers, their psychology, their tools, their relationship to the villagers, and the broader implications of their existence. And by the end, you might just start seeing these mobs in a whole new way. Villagers live in what Nietzsche would call herd morality. They farm, they trade, they sleep, all contributing to the stability of the group. Every villager has a role. Every task has a purpose. It's predictable, it's safe, and it works. But what happens to those who reject it? This is where the illagers come in. Exiled from society, they're villagers who turn their backs on the system. Or maybe the system turned its back on them. Either way, they no longer belong. And once you've been cast out, what's left? You either conform, or you redefine the rules. Nietzsche, again, argues that morality, or what we call good and evil, isn't universal. It's something societies create to maintain order. The villagers' way of life depends on stability, so of course they view cooperation as good, and disruption as bad. But the illagers reject this. They've forged their own morality, one based on strength, dominance, and survival. In Nietzschean, is that even a word? I don't know, terms, they embrace master morality, the belief that power determines what is right. They don't farm because they don't need to, they take. The villagers use tools to create. Hoes for farming, anvils for smithing, bookshelves for knowledge, I guess. The illagers, however, use tools to conquer. First, the crossbow, their weapon of choice. Unlike the quick, simple bow, the crossbow requires patience. It's slow, methodical, precise. It's a weapon that forces the user to think and to strategize. Not mindless brutes like the villagers could be seen as. And there's the Totem of Undying, wielded by the Evokers. This isn't just an item, it's a philosophy in itself. To villagers, death is a natural part of life. But to the pillagers, they reject that. They refuse to die. The totem represents their defiance, their refusal to accept the limitations of morality. In Nietzschean terms, I really hope that's a word again, this is the will to power. The drive to transcend human limits and to seize control of one's own fate. While the villagers accept their place in the cycle of life, the illagers try to fight and escape it, just like they did with the villagers' social classes. And now, no crappy YouTube video of illagers is complete without talking about the Ravagers. This thing is pure destruction. A four-legged war machine that was bred for one reason: to tear through villager society. While villagers tame horses and cats, creatures of utility and companionship, the illagers tame Ravagers, creatures of chaos. The Ravager is a psychological weapon, a manifestation of their ideology. It exists to destroy, to shatter the illusion of safety that the villagers cling to. Nietzsche often spoke of the tension between Apollonian, that is, order, civilization, and structure, and the Dionysian, which is chaos, instinct, and destruction. The Ravager is pure Dionysian force, an embodiment of wild, unchecked power that the illagers unleash upon the world, and it's not even that effective. But the illagers aren't just a band of misfits. They have some structure, and each of their ranks reserves a specific philosophical purpose. Like the pillagers, they're the foot soldiers, the raiders with the crossbows, who embody precision and control. They aren't frenzied berserkers. They're deliberate, calculated, and disciplined. Now the Vindicators. Vindicators are the destroyers. Their axes cutting down anything in their path. They don't hesitate. Their very name, Vindicator, suggests retribution, as if their destruction is a form of justice. And then finally Evokers. Evokers are intellectuals, the tacticians. They summon ghostly vexes, which are supernatural entities that phase through walls to hunt their targets. While the villagers, librarians, preserve knowledge for the greater good, Evokers use the knowledge as a weapon. Together, these roles form a system built on conquest, a direct opposition to the independence of villager society. Now let's talk about why illagers attack. The raids illagers carry out aren't just about resources, they're about meaning. Nietzsche talks about nihilism, the idea that life has no inherent purpose. The illagers, having rejected the villagers' way of life, are left in a void. They don't farm, they don't build, they don't create. So what do? Well, they destroy. Not because they have to, but because it's the only thing left. The raids aren't just acts of war, they're existential statements. If the villagers' peaceful society is a lie, then tearing it down is the ultimate truth. At its core, Minecraft presents us with a battle of ideologies. The villagers represent order, cooperation, and harmony, a world of stability. And the illagers represent chaos, individual will, and power. It's a world of struggle. Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil tells us that morality isn't black and white. The villagers see the illagers as evil, but the illagers see the villagers as weak. Who's right? Is it better to live in comfort and structure, or to fight and define your own existence? Maybe the real answer lies somewhere in between. But we may never know. So in conclusion, Minecraft, whether intentionally or not, gives us one of the most interesting representations of Nietzschean philosophy in gaming. And by understanding that, we don't just understand the illagers better, we understand ourselves better. So next time you're in an illager raid, don't just fight back. Think about why they're fighting in the first place. And maybe you'll see them in a different light. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because why not?